अगर आप सीधा उसे A से खरीदते हैं, A, suppose a person, you're buying it from A, I buy it from Saima, so I have to give a certain amount to Saima, but then when again he comes and buys a property from me, he also has to pay an amount to Saima. So if he is my buyer, I want to sell my property desperately, I would rather save his money so that my property gets into the market easily, I mean easily dissolve हो जाए, easily बिक जाए. इसलिए मैं मेरे prospective client यानी जो मेरे prospective buyers है उनका प्रॉब्लम बचाने के लिए मैं एक कंपनी खोलती हूँ और मैं अपना जो प्रॉपर्टी खरीदने वाली हूँ साइमा से, मैं साइमा से अपने लिए नहीं खरीदती हूँ, ये जो मैंने कंपनी खोला है उसमें पूरा ट्रांसफर कर देती हूँ और जब वो खरीदेंगे मुझसे मैं यहाँ से सीधा ट्रांसफर कर दूंगी क्योंकि यहाँ पर कोई when you open up a offshore company like Mithun is saying, you do not have to pay an extra amount to the builder which you otherwise have to, which is quite a lump sum amount, isn't it? Finally, मैंने समझा दिया.
Yeah, that's number one.
Yeah, okay.
Although I'd like to repeat that not all developers, you'll not be able to work out this strategy with all the developers. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And the other advantage of having an offshore company as the legal vehicle for all your property acquisitions is that if it's a high stake investment, now say if it's an investment of £2 million in Dubai, now you're buying it in your personal name, and that's an investment that you've made. It's a long-term investment. It's not a liquid investment.
Yeah.
Okay, now you own that in your personal name, but anytime you want to liquidate your asset, it's not possible for you to do it unless you've got an offshore company which is owning this property, owning this portfolio, in which case your properties are worth £3 million in Dubai and you're in need of £1 million. You can sell 20 shares in that company to investors, to prospective buyers, so that way you keep your asset liquid.
Yeah.
Yes, and then you can, that's nice, that's really easy. Okay,
now what about the tax? What about tax situation? Like, you know,
see, from the UK, I'll have to make one point extremely clear, that having an offshore company is not the solution to save tax. So all the viewers, all the investors have to consult their accountant, their tax lawyers to see how the system.
From the respectable countries, you're saying.
Yeah, that's right. And then, but the general rule is that you will not be able to take much of the tax benefit unless you are a resident in Dubai. That's the crux. You might have an offshore company, your offshore company might own properties in Dubai, but that doesn't mean that you're not obliged or you're not bound to disclose this information to the taxman in UK, and that you're not bound to pay tax on it. No, that's not the solution.
So
that's
if I own a property apart from the country that I'm staying in, I will anyway have to pay to the country that I'm staying in.
Yeah, unless you become a resident of that country where you've invested.
And is that easy to become a resident? What is the minimal amount of years that you have to live there?
No, that's not the criteria.
What is the criteria?
If you buy a freehold property in Dubai, you become entitled to a residence visa, which is valid for 3 years and then becomes renewable after every 3 years.
That comes in handy anyway.
It does. So you get one visa, and that visa, it's a family visa. The owner of that property can sponsor all his dependents.
Okay.
This is only in relation to freehold properties.
After 3 years, you can renew that.
Yeah, you can renew that.
So freehold property is the best thing to buy, you're saying then?
Yeah, that's because there is still that market. It's still a very young market.
Just budding up.
It's easy to sell if you say that it's a freehold property. A lot of investors are still not happy to buy leasehold and other forms of title. You know, freehold is possibly the most easily marketable title in Dubai. So,
is it possible to go for an installment to buy property in Dubai?
Not a completed property. If you want to make your payments in installments, then you have to essentially look for off-plan properties. Under construction.
One very common question basically is how easy it is to get a mortgage if you want to buy a house in Dubai, basically.
See, the one thing is Dubai is a very cash-rich economy. It's a cash-rich market.
Yeah.
I mean, the concept of mortgage, it's still not developed to the extent of the kind of lenders, the very few lenders basically, who will give you mortgage till we yes.
No, but that's
Are there any
if you're
companies
staying
there?
there.
Yes.
But
If
then
you are a
you're
resident,
here-
if you are resident in Dubai, and if you have a regular income, or if you have your own company, and if it's been in good standing for 3 years, then you can take a mortgage. You can take a mortgage.
But that's
But it
not-
becomes difficult if you are not a resident in Dubai. If you are if you are an expatriate,
Okay.
this it becomes difficult unless your local banker in your home country can liaise with his branch.
Okay, so if I have here a couple of banks who are okay with my status,
Yes.
and they are ready to give me a
Sure,
loan,
yeah.
they can liaise with the branches in
yeah,
there
yeah,
in
that
Dubai.
can happen. Now you've got Barclays, you've got Lloyds.
They have opened up there as well.
They've opened up there, and they're offering home finances.
Okay, Mithun, coming back
yeah.
to this thing that you said, that the visa bit.
Yes, yes.
आपने कहा कि if we buy a property there,
Sure.
if a freehold property,
Yes.
which you are saying is a commercial property.
Not necessarily, no. I mean, freehold is not commercial property.
Sorry.
Freehold could be residential, it can be commercial, retail, mixed use.
So why do you call it freehold? What
Freehold is once that property is sold, that's yours forever.
Okay.
Because not,
Yeah.
it's not on
If it's
lease,
leasehold,
it's not
if it's
like,
Okay.
if it's a leasehold property, then
Completely
it's,
complete ownership.
it's yeah, that's the
So वैसे हमारे पास वक्त कम है, तो मैं जल्दी कंक्लूड करती हूँ कि आप कह रहे हैं कि if we buy a freehold property there,
yes.
we get a visa anyway.
Yes.
So how does that exempt our tax back home here?
Oh, that's a very. As I
Is it a
said,
very
will
lengthy
be,
question?
No, it's not a lengthy question, but it will be very difficult for me to comment on it generally, because that mainly will depend on the
All
circumstances of one
Except for
particular.
the houses where the house.
No, not that. The circumstances of the investor himself.
Okay.
Okay, so as I said, if he becomes a resident in Dubai and then he's invested in properties, or if he holds a residence visa in Dubai, then to that extent, the general rule is that he's not bound to make that disclosure to the taxman. However, the fact that he's become a resident of another country has to be disclosed to the concerned
The
authorities
main
here,
country.
so that they take note of it, and then the corresponding provisions of tax legislations apply.
Mithun, this thing is really interesting and very, very. I mean, there are so many questions that we would love to ask, and I'm sure कि हमारे जो नाज़रीन हैं वो भी बहुत सारे सवाल पूछना चाहते हैं. So I think it's best to give out his email ID.
Yeah, I think that would really
आपने
nice.
email ID, if you don't mind, if you can just say it out.
Sure. It's Mithun, MITHUN @lawyer.com.
Okay, I'll repeat it for you. It's MITHUN @lawyer.com. Mithun@lawyer.com. अगर आपका कोई भी सवाल है जो इस हवाले से है कि आपको कौन सा क्या खरीदना है, आई मीन दुबई में कौन सा प्रॉपर्टी ठीक रहेगा क्या नहीं, प्राइस ही डजंट से बिकॉज ही इज डेफिनेटली नॉट डीलिंग विद प्रॉपर्टीज.
उन्होंने आपको थोड़ा सा आइडिया दिया है कि आपको अगर आप लेना चाहते हैं और आप इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं इन्वेस्टमेंट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी, तो आपको चाहिए कि आप एटलीस्ट 70,000 जो है वो स्पेंड करें वहाँ पे, जो कि जिसका रिटर्न जो है वो अच्छा होगा. लेकिन इनके ख्याल में इनका अपना ओपिनियन यही है कि 40 और 50,000 के बिटवीन जो प्रॉपर्टीज हैं उसके लिए आपका जो इसका इट्स मोर ऑफ अ हैसल, बजाय इसके कि आपको उससे
अगर आप कमर्शियल
कमर्शियल या दूसरा भी उन्होंने कहा था कि
अगर आप यू नो इफ योर इंटेंशन इज टू जस्ट मेक मनी देन या इन्वेस्टमेंट अगर है तो फिर 70 से ऊपर. वेल आई थिंक इट्स वी हैव टू वाइंड अप नाउ, सो आई थिंक इट्स टाइम टू टेल यू थैंक यू सो मच.
No problem. That's
Thank
been
you,
a pleasure.
you've given
It's been
really
a
good information to our audience basically. Or
pleasure being on this show.
Hope to see you soon again,
That's
but
right.
he's coming from Dubai and he'll be leaving very soon, so if you have any queries, write into him. You can write in later as well because it's just an email ID.
मिथुन आपकी जो है अभी एग्जीबिशन भी हो रही है मेरे ख्याल में.
Sure, I'm going to be there tomorrow at the property exhibition.
कहाँ पर हो रही है
This is happening at the Hilton.
Okay.
The airport,
Manchester.
Manchester, that's right.
कितने बजे से what is the timing?
I'm not very sure. I think it starts at about 8:30 or 9
In the morning?
Yeah, in the morning.
Till evening.
It's
5.
also there on Sunday, and there's another exhibition coming up in London next weekend.
So all of these are like property dealing.
These are I mean, this is, I mean, one I would rather advise the viewers to interested investors to go to these exhibitions, because that way they'll have a
clear view of what they want to
they'll
do.
get a feel of how it is buying
How it
properties,
works. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Mithun. Thank you so much for coming to our show.
Thank you for joining our show. नाज़रीन, आपने देखा मिथुन ने हमें इतनी अच्छी बातें बताई अबाउट प्रॉपर्टीज इन दुबई. अगर आपको भी इंटरेस्ट है दुबई में प्रॉपर्टी लेने का, तो आप मिथुन से उनके हमने ईमेल एड्रेस दिया है आपको, आप उस पर कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं. इस वीकेंड पे उनकी एग्जीबिशन हो रही है, आप वहाँ पे जाके कर सकते हैं, या आप स्क्रीन पे दिए गए नंबर पे हमसे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं और हम आपको मिथुन के साथ रू भी कर सकते हैं. आप हमारे साथ रहिएगा, ये प्रोग्राम देखते रहिए. अगले सेगमेंट में आपसे मिलते हैं थोड़ी देर में ब्रेक के बाद.